I think we should try an open marriage. That's how she started. No warning. No build-up. Just said it like she was ordering coffee. We'd been married 8 years. No kids. House in a nice neighborhood outside of Denver. Her name's Lauren. She was always sharp, composed, beautiful in a quiet kind of way. The kind of woman people assumed had it all figured out. That night, we were having dinner like any other Wednesday. She made salmon. Poured wine. Talked about work. Then came that sentence. I put my fork down. An open marriage, I repeated, slow and even. She nodded, didn't flinch. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think it's something I need to do. For myself. It wasn't a conversation. It was a decision. She wasn't asking. She was notifying me. I didn't yell. Didn't ask who he was. I just looked at her and nodded once. You already have plans, don't you? I asked. Silence. Then, there's someone. But it's not serious. Just a trip. 6 weeks. I need clarity. 6 weeks. With another man. While I stayed here, holding the fort she was casually walking away from. She went to bed early that night. Said she had packing to do. I sat at the kitchen table until midnight, staring at my reflection in the window. Then I poured the wine down the drain and started planning. The morning she left, she kissed me on the cheek. Said she loved me. I didn't say it back. Just told her to take care. When her Uber pulled away, I locked the front door and stood there in the silence. Then I opened a new notebook and wrote 2 words at the top. Don't waste it. The 6 weeks that followed. I rebuilt myself from the ground up. Gym, 5 a.m., daily. No more junk food. No more sitting on the couch waiting for life to hand me peace. I cleaned out the garage. Repainted the guest room. Reorganized every drawer in the house. Like I was evicting ghosts one by one. Most importantly, I started thinking. Not about her. About me. Who I was before I became a background character in my own marriage. And somewhere in that process, I started feeling like myself again. When she finally came back, suntanned, suitcase in hand, I was already standing in the driveway. Calm. Clear. She smiled like nothing had changed. But the house behind me? New locks. New furniture. And inside? A woman named Emily, reading on the couch. Kind eyes. Kind soul. Lauren's smile froze. Who's that? She asked, voice tight. I met her eyes. Someone who knows what she wants. And doesn't need 6 weeks with another man to figure it out. Her jaw tightened. She looked past me toward the door, like she still had a key that meant something. But the truth was, that door doesn't open for her anymore. She stood on the front step for a long moment, suitcase in hand, confusion flickering behind her sunglasses. I could tell she hadn't expected a scene, but she definitely hadn't expected this. The locks had been changed. She knew it the second her key didn't fit. Her eyes darted up to meet mine. You changed the locks? She asked, not quite believing it. I did. Her mouth opened, then closed again. She wasn't used to being caught off balance. I live here, Michael. Not anymore. She exhaled sharply, trying to collect herself. So this is it? You don't even want to talk. I motioned to the porch swing. You've got 5 minutes. That's the talk. She hesitated but sat down, crossing one leg over the other like she was still in control. I never wanted this to blow up our marriage, she began. You packed a suitcase for 6 weeks with another man, I said flatly. You just didn't expect me to move on before you got back. She flinched. Just a little. You said you needed clarity, I added. Did you find it? She didn't answer right away. Just stared out at the street like maybe the right words were hiding somewhere between the cracks in the sidewalk. Mark, wasn't what I thought, she said. We had a connection, sure, but it faded fast. I missed you. I missed us. I nodded. That's usually how it works when you trade something solid for something shiny. She frowned. You're being cruel. No. I'm being honest. She shifted in her seat. Who is she? Someone who didn't need to burn down a relationship to find herself. Lauren's eyes narrowed. You replaced me like that? While I was gone. I tilted my head. No. You replaced you. I just stopped waiting for the old version to come back. There was a long pause. For the first time, her composure started to crack. I thought we'd talk. Maybe fix things. That's what I did, I said quietly. I fixed things. Just not the way you imagined. Tears welled up, but she blinked them back. I didn't move. Didn't reach for her hand. Not anymore. You really mean this? She asked, barely above a whisper. I meant every day I stayed faithful while you were out trying to figure out if I was enough. That hit. She looked away. And I saw it, that flicker of regret that always comes too late. 5 minutes were up. You should go, Lauren. She stood, hesitated, then picked up her suitcase. Do I at least get closure? You already had it. The moment you walked away. She turned slowly and walked down the driveway. No goodbye. No final look. Just silence. And it felt like peace. The house was quiet after she left. Not empty. Just quiet in the best way. For the first time in months, maybe years, I sat on my own couch with a cup of black coffee and didn't feel like something was missing. The walls didn't echo loneliness. They echoed peace. Grace came into the room with a throw blanket draped over her arm. Was that her? She asked gently. I nodded. Yeah. She okay? I smirked, sipping the coffee. She'll live. Grace didn't push for more. That's what I liked about her, she knew when silence spoke louder than words. She sat beside me and tucked her legs underneath her, close but not needy. I can give you space, she offered. You don't need to, I said. She made her choice. I made mine. And that was the truth. I wasn't trying to prove anything to Lauren anymore. I wasn't angry. I wasn't wounded. I was just done. Over the next few weeks, life fell into a new rhythm. I started running in the mornings. Not for speed. Just to feel the road under my feet and air in my lungs. It was like each mile burned off another layer of resentment. I took on more at work. Landed a new client. Even got promoted to regional lead, something I'd put off chasing because Lauren used to say it would take too much of me away from home. Funny how she was the one who left first. I cooked again. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I rediscovered the comfort of small, unshared victories. A perfectly grilled steak. A reorganized tool bench. A full night's sleep without emotional crossfire. My friends noticed. They stopped asking how I was and started saying you look good, man. Even my mom, who once asked if Lauren and I would be giving her grandkids, didn't bring up her name again. She just hugged me a little tighter the next time I visited. One night, Grace and I were watching some old comedy she loved. Her laugh, it was soft but real, the kind that made you feel like the world wasn't such a hard place. Halfway through the episode, she paused the show and looked at me. You okay? She asked. Better than okay. She smiled. You don't talk about her much. That chapter's closed. You sure? I nodded. Some people leave quietly. Others slam the door and expect to come back later. But eventually, you stop answering the knock. Grace leaned into me, and we sat there, wrapped in calm. No games. No half-truths. Just two people sitting in the warmth of a future that didn't need fixing. I used to think closure came from answers. But now I know, it comes from acceptance. From reclaiming your space, your voice, your time. Lauren's story in my life was over. And I didn't need a dramatic final scene. I just needed peace. And that's exactly what I had. It started with a text. Lauren, hey. Can we talk sometime soon? I stared at the screen for a minute, thumb hovering over the reply button. Then I locked my phone and set it down. There was nothing left to say. But Lauren wasn't done. The next morning, she called. I let it ring. She tried again that night. Then the day after that. When she finally left a voicemail, I listened, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to know where this was going. Her voice cracked as she spoke. I know I messed up. I was stupid. I got caught up in something and thought I was finding myself. But I lost everything instead. I don't want to lose you completely. Can we please just talk? Funny how people find clarity only after they've destroyed what they had. I didn't respond. But she wasn't giving up that easy. 2 days later, I saw her in person. I was leaving the gym, 6:45 in the morning, hoodie damp with sweat, when she pulled up in that silver SUV she used to call our car. She got out fast, hair pulled back, face pale like she hadn't slept. Michael, wait, she called. I stopped walking. Turned around slowly. You shouldn't be here, I said. She looked like she was about to cry. I just needed 5 minutes. You had 5 minutes. On the porch. Remember? She stepped closer. I didn't realize how much I'd lost until. You didn't lose it, I cut in. You gave it away. That landed. Her shoulders dropped. Mark was a mistake, she whispered. It meant nothing. Then you threw away everything for nothing, I said calmly. Which is worse? She looked like she might collapse under the weight of it. I miss you, she said. I miss the way you made me feel, safe. Seen. Like I mattered. You did matter, I said. But you wanted more than a man who stayed. You wanted to explore. Now you've seen what's out there. I was confused. No, I interrupted. You were selfish. There's a difference. She swallowed hard. Is there really nothing left? Nothing at all. I studied her for a moment. The woman I had once loved. The woman who turned away from that love like it was optional. There's respect, I said. I won't speak badly of you. I won't drag you through mud. I'll always wish you well. Her eyes lit up for a second. But love? I continued. That's something I give to someone who didn't make me an afterthought. Silence stretched between us like a canyon. Finally, she nodded slowly. You've changed. No, I said. I just stopped making excuses for people who don't treat me like I matter. She walked back to her car. Didn't look back this time. That night, Grace asked me if I was okay. I am, I said. For the first time in a long time, I really am. I hadn't heard from Lauren in weeks. And just when I thought the dust had settled, it started again, but not from her. It came through mutual friends. First, it was a text from Aaron, a guy we used to double date with. Hey, man. Just had coffee with Lauren. She's not doing great. I think she really regrets everything. You sure this is the road you want to go down? Then came the phone call from Rachel, one of Lauren's bridesmaids. She's trying to rebuild her life, Michael. You meant everything to her. People make mistakes. Doesn't she at least deserve a second chance? They meant well. But they didn't understand. Lauren didn't make a mistake. She made a decision. And now that the consequences had shown up at her doorstep, she wanted to rewrite the narrative as some sad, misunderstood love story. I wasn't buying it. The final straw came at my parents' house. It was Sunday lunch. Just me, Grace, and my folks. We were laughing over homemade lasagna when my mom set down her fork and cleared her throat. I got a call from Lauren, she said. The table went quiet. She asked how you were. Said she missed the family. That she'd give anything to have a chance to talk to you. Just talk. I set down my glass. Looked my mother in the eyes. Did she mention where she went for 6 weeks? My mom sighed. She said she was confused. That it wasn't what she thought it would be. Grace sat quietly, respectful, but I could feel her tension. She didn't call me because she missed the family, I said. She called because her plan didn't work out. She's lonely. Not sorry. My dad finally spoke. You've earned your peace, son. Don't hand it back out of guilt. I nodded. I was done carrying the emotional debts of someone who never paid theirs. That night, I got an email. No subject line. Just, I saw you with her. She's not me. I stared at it. Read it twice. Then a third time. She was right. Grace wasn't her. And thank God for that. I didn't reply. I just moved the email to a folder I named Closure. Not trash. Not archive. Just closure. Grace was reading on the couch when I joined her. She looked up. Everything okay? I nodded. Sat beside her. Slipped my hand into hers. She reached out again, I said. You gonna respond? No. Some stories end quietly. Grace leaned her head on my shoulder. Good. Because when someone walks away from you, believing the grass is greener, you let them go. And when they come back trying to water the same dead ground, you don't. You build your own garden. And you never look back. The letter came certified mail. Return address, L. Harper. My attorney had warned me she might try this. The emotional routes hadn't worked, so now she was playing her last hand, legal maneuvering. I sat at the kitchen table, slowly opening the envelope like it might bite. Inside, a neatly typed letter. 3 pages. Her tone was calm, carefully worded, likely reviewed by someone with a law degree and a fragile sense of pride. She wasn't suing. Not yet. But she wanted to talk about assets. The house, in particular. Though we were never divorced officially, we'd been married under a state where separation without legal filing was recognized. She was now asserting that she had financial stake in the home, given the years of contribution and emotional investment. Funny. 6 weeks in Florida didn't feel like emotional investment. I called my lawyer, Mr. Jensen. Ah, he said after scanning the document. Classic emotional leverage wrapped in legal fluff. She thinks she has a claim. She hopes she does, he replied. But we've got records. The house is in your name. She voluntarily vacated. And she abandoned residence without intent to return. Legally, that matters. Then why the letter? Because she has nothing else left to reach for. I smiled. Not smug, free. Still, I agreed to a meeting. Not for reconciliation. For resolution. We met in a quiet office downtown. Neutral ground. Her lawyer was present. So was Jensen. And for the first time in this entire mess, I saw Lauren look nervous. Not because of me. Because control, the thing she always held like a weapon, was gone. She glanced at me across the table. A hollow smile. You look good, she said. I didn't return the compliment. I just opened my file, laid down the facts, and let Jensen speak. Paperwork. Precedent. Tax filings. All lined up. When it was over, her attorney looked at her and gave a small, reluctant nod. She'd lost. Not just the claim. The narrative. We stepped outside after the meeting. Just the two of us, standing on a cold concrete walkway under a gray Colorado sky. Lauren broke the silence. So that's it? I shrugged lightly. It was it, a long time ago. Today was just paperwork. I never thought we'd end up like this, she said, voice thinner now. No one ever does. Until they make the kind of choices you made. She winced but nodded. I was stupid, she said. No, I replied. You were selfish. That's harder to admit. But you'll get there. She looked down at her shoes. Then back at me. Does she make you happy? She asked quietly. I took a long breath. Thought about Grace. About the calm. The trust. The absence of eggshells. She brings peace, I said. And that's better than happy. Lauren blinked, then gave the smallest of nods. A goodbye without saying it. She turned and walked toward her car. This time, I didn't watch her go. That night, I lit a fire in the backyard. Not out of anger. Just to mark the end of a season. I threw the letter into the flames. And just like that, the past turned to smoke. The days started to feel normal again. But not the kind of normal where you're just surviving. This was different. It was quiet mornings with real coffee and no tension in the air. Saturday runs by the river. Late night talks with someone who listens without trying to win. It was peace that didn't ask for attention. It was mine. Grace and I didn't rush anything. No dramatic declarations. No promises we couldn't back up. We just lived. Together. Slowly. Honestly. One Sunday morning, we were reading on the porch, a gentle breeze moving through the trees, when she said, "You ever think about what would have happened if she hadn't left?" I didn't answer right away. Then I closed my book and looked out at the yard. The same yard I'd mowed for years, thinking I was building a life with someone who was already halfway out the door. I'd still be pretending, I said. Still thinking love meant sacrifice without limits. Still shrinking to keep the peace. Grace reached for my hand, and I let her hold it. And now, she asked. Now I know better. I ran into Lauren one last time. At the grocery store, of all places. She looked thinner. Tired. But put together, like she was trying to look unfazed. We locked eyes for a second. I nodded politely. She returned it. No small talk. No bitterness. Just the kind of silence that happens when two people both realize, they were never going to be the people they tried to be together. And that's okay. A few months later, I stood in my own kitchen, our kitchen now, flipping pancakes on a Sunday. Grace was laughing at something on the radio. I had music playing, sleeves rolled up, sun pouring through the windows. This wasn't revenge. This wasn't a rebound. This was rebuilding. Not from spite, but from choice. You don't always get closure from words. Sometimes, closure is a key turning in a new door. A quiet dinner with someone who shows up and stays. A version of yourself that no longer apologizes for expecting respect. Lauren thought she was opening the door to freedom when she walked away. But in the end, I was the one who walked into a better life. Not because I wanted her to regret it. But because I finally remembered what it felt like to respect myself. And this? This is what that looks like.